Good evening, everybody. This is KJ's Campfire. This is KJ. Welcome to the Campfire Campers. I hope that you are all ready to sit around and hear a good story. Now, this is a fictionalized story. It is a theory, it is a hypothesis, it is speculation, and it reflects my opinion of what may have happened to Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. And I would like for all of you to just sit back and watch it unfold. Think about it carefully. The video is about 5 minutes long, maybe almost 6, and then we will discuss once it is over. It is a silent film. That was the end of Act 1, and here we go into Act 2. And that was the end of that. So I would like to go back over that again. If anybody has any questions, that is what I am looking at right now. Okay. So let's go back to it and let's just go through it frame by frame. So once upon a time, there was a happy little family, and Feifei, the mom, followed her dream of sea life and left Sean, the father, to care for Swader on his own, which Sean, I'm sure, found to be a difficult task, but he was absolutely crazy about Swader, and he took good care of him, and he was his main caregiver, and he was okay with that. He loved his little buddy's son. Now, after a few years of Feifei being in the Navy, she decided that she didn't want to be a wife anymore. So she filed for divorce from Sean. And then she wound up taking custody of Swader. So that was the end of that chapter in the life of Swader and his parents, Feifei and Sean. Act 2, Feifei meets Pervy Pete. Now, Pervy Pete, as you can tell right here, was a married man who found himself having a little crush on Feifei. So he made his move on Feifei. And Pervy Pete did get caught talking to another woman, and his current wife decided she didn't want to deal with that, so she filed for divorce. And after a long and arduous divorce battle, they were divorced. And that is when Pervy Pete and Fei Fei got married. But as soon as the marriage started, the honeymoon fell to pieces. The love bombing stops on the wedding day. And isn't that the way it is a lot of the time? When the man or the woman, either one of them seems like they're just way too good to be true. And then once a strong commitment is made that makes it difficult to step away from the relationship, then the love bombing stops. The kindness stops, the respect stops, and many times the violence starts. Now, we don't know if there was violence in the marital relationship. And of course, this is a fictional story, which is just speculation, theory, and hypothesis of an actual story going on currently, which we shall not name. Pervy Pete won over the mom, but that kid was in the way. Pervy Pete's dark spirit soon came out to stay. He makes life hell when he doesn't get his way. And the mom, as you can see in the background, she's just doesn't know what to do. She's in the middle of it, and she doesn't want there to be sides and a middle to be in. Let me go back and read that again there. Till one day, 5 years later, this festering boil came to a head. And Pervy Pete demanded Fei Fei choose between her marriage and her kid. Swader begged his mother, "Let's pack our bags and go far away where Mr. Pervy Pete can never find us." Swader, okay. Fei Fei tells Pervy Pete Swader wants to leave. Pervy Pete says, "Well then, let's help him go." So Fei Fei told Swader that he was absolutely right, and they started planning to leave without a trace. And here you see how to make Pervy Pete never find us. No GPS, no phones, no tablets, no telling anyone our secret, and they're shaking on it. They've got a plan and they've got a deal, and they're going to stick with it. So here's Fei Fei making a list. Fei Fei brainstormed how to cover their tracks so Pervy Pete could never find them. Fei Fei worked out every detail to cut her risks and to save time. 2 matching outfits is genius. No changing, no getting them back in the house. On Saturday, Fei Fei sent Swader with a babysitter overnight so that Fei Fei could make the final arrangements. After the Sunday fun day, Fei Fei and Swader traded cars with a friend. That friend drove to their house and pretended to be Fei Fei and Swader coming home. Once in the sedan, Fei Fei and Swader headed west, with Swader happily settling in for a long ride to California. And the video track is off from the actual text track. But there's Swader, trusting and happy, and on his way out of town with Fei, never to deal with Pervy Pete again. Waking up to see Mr. Pervy Pete, Swader knew he had been betrayed. Swader knew this was bad, but he wasn't taking Mr. Pervy Pete's abuse anymore. He would fight now, scratching, clawing, and biting to get away. Swader knew he wasn't going to get away by fighting, so he tried to beg his mother not to do this. Swader begged for his freedom. I love you, Mama. Let's go, please. I love you, puppies. I love you, Mama. I love you, puppies. Fei stayed on the phone with Pervy Pete and Swader most of the way back home. And then, of course, she's laid back in the car seat on the phone with Pervy Pete. And Pervy Pete tells her, get up, put the dogs up, go to bed. Notice the time, 3:11 a.m. What do you think? I'm going to stop sharing this. And let's go back. If I can figure it out. All right. Let's go ahead and get some images up here. If I can find any. So this was actually the very first AI generated image that I had made. And then I decided to spend 4 days, almost all day, every day, creating all of the other AI generated images. and adding the text to them. And as a new creator, this took me a very long time. And I intended to go live every single day. However, creating this and all of the wonderful things about AI, there's still a lot like extra heads in some pictures and extra people, extra feet, extra fingers. Um, there's still a lot of discrepancies with the AI photos, no matter how well you try to explain yourself. And I'm learning about it apparently, but I haven't learned a whole lot. Most of them I had to put the entire description of each person in again, including the clothing, the hair, the build, the vehicles, the scenery, describe it all over again. And it still didn't come out uniformly, but we all understand what is being said there. So I'm just making sure that I'm on the stage, and I am, and I'm making sure that I have audio, which I'm not muted, so that is good. It seems to be working just fine. So this is what we're talking about tonight. This is a theory. This is what I am theorizing, speculating about, and I feel that there's a very good possibility that this is the way that some of this went down. I definitely feel that it would be easier to take somebody out of town or to take somebody to a different location at all if you have their cooperation. So while it is possible that Sebastian was given medicine, I think it would be much easier to move him if he were walking on his own, if he were included in the plan and able to move around on his own instead of having to be carried. That would complicate things a whole lot, in my opinion. So apparently this is going to be a very short live. I am going to post this video as a theory, as a regular video. And I would love to get some discussion going on. I would love for you to watch this video. We can go back over it again. But I really feel that it would be good to have a number of people in here where we could have an actual discussion. So I'm going to plan out a video and a live stream for another day where we will go over this again. And in the meantime, I will post it as a video so that everybody can watch it and think it over before we get together and have a good discussion about it. I appreciate you guys watching. I do have someone in house. Would you like to say hello? I guess not. They ducked back out. All right. Well, I've spent a lot of time and energy putting together this theory with this little AI generated slideshow with fictional characters and fictional, theorized, hypothesized, speculated thoughts on what could have happened on the night of February 25th, 2024. The express opinion of this channel is that Sebastian Rogers did not go home at all after Texas Roadhouse, that Katie did not go home until around the 3 a.m. hour of the morning of February 26th, because she needed to be back on time to go running out of the house and start screaming that she just woke up and her son is missing. I do not believe she was there all night. I believe she had someone else in the home pretending to be her and Sebastian, making it look like they were home, probably with all of her digital accounts on hand, like her smartwatch, her phone, her vehicle, so that the police would say she was home. All of her devices are home. However, that's what I think. I've heard many times, and so have all of you, that do you think Chris left his phone in Memphis? He just called Katie's phone, in many people's opinion, and possibly in my own. Excuse me. Called Katie from Memphis, left the phone laying there, got up, got in his vehicle, and started driving. And if he could do that, why could Katie not have done that? So what I believe is she needed to get her vehicle back in her garage, and she needed to head out to meet up with PP. Pervy feet. Pervy Pete. Pervy Pete with pervy feet. Probably halfway down the road. Maybe Jackson, Tennessee. Maybe Natchez State Park. Maybe, let's see what the other name of it was. I looked up this stuff a little while ago, and I did take a screenshot of it. So it says, it's not on this one. Let's try this phone. Okay, so some of the halfway points between Memphis and Nashville, I didn't put Hendersonville, I put Nashville and Memphis. So approximately midway, the largest city between them, known for the Casey Jones home. Excuse me, y'all. Known for the Casey Jones home and Railroad Museum and Brooks Shaw's Old Country Store, is Jackson, Tennessee. Now, we've heard other things about Jackson, Tennessee, with there being an FBI office there, or TBI. I don't remember. But on one of those, Mr. Peafoot says that he was going to meet up with agents one day in Jackson. I believe it is a TBI office. And then another midway point, exact midway, is Lexington, Tennessee. That is identified as the exact geographic halfway point. Zip code is 38351. And then you've got Parker's Crossroads, which is midway, and that's a historic Civil War site with walking trails. And then there's Cedar Grove, Tennessee, which is midway, and that is a point noted for finding dining such as Patty's. I wonder if they wanted to say fine dining, but they said finding dining. And then Natchez Trace State Park says it's a scenic spot for a break. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 midway points that could be looked at just in case Katie covered her alibi for being at home and Chris covered his alibi for being in Memphis. Just in case that theory is a good one, there's 5 spots that we can check out. And I'm not necessarily talking about searching the woods, even though that also is an idea. But in my opinion, Sebastian is alive and he's not going to be found anywhere on any walking trails or in any state park. He is somewhere being taken care of, in my opinion. But those are good places to go and visit, just to talk to the locals, to put up flyers. And it's possible, if each of them, especially both of them, coming from different directions, if, in my opinion, they may have met up at one of these 5 places, it's possible that somebody saw one of them or the other one or both that night. It's possible that somebody saw Sebastian. And of course, there was a supposed sighting of a boy sleeping in a truck at a gas station. I believe it was a Speedway at the exit in Jackson, Tennessee. And there is a behavioral health center in Jackson, Tennessee as well. It's called Perimeter Health, and that is a behavioral health institute where they send children that are involved in different social services like youth villages, Helen Ross McNabb, children that have been in trouble who they think may need some behavioral help, and maybe to figure out what's going on that is making them act out. They also can prescribe medicine and diagnose. Is Sebastian in Perimeter? I don't know. I don't know how to find out either. But maybe there's somebody over there living in Jackson, Tennessee who could kind of look over the fence sometime and see if you see him playing in the yard there. Would they tell the police if he were there? Would he be recognized if he were there under a different name? I don't know. These are all questions that Sebastian's army needs to get together and figure out. So, come on, army. Put on your uniform, put on your hat, put on your armor. Make your bed, throw a quarter on it. If it bounces off, let's go. We need to find Sebastian, and we all need to put all of our thoughts together. And I'm here to encourage any of you who are not getting your point across. Start a channel, or call into my channel, or do whatever you can to get those thoughts in your head out into the public view. Because you might be the one who's right. You might be the one who has thought of something that none of the rest of us have seen. And we want to find Sebastian. We don't want to be shy. It's not time to focus on ourselves. You know, I would like my voice to sound better before I got on here. I really wanted to, put my camera on, but I just couldn't make myself put makeup on, and I couldn't make myself put the camera on without the makeup on. So I decided to do it this way. Because however it is that I can get this message out here that I'm actually going to do, that's the best way for me to do it. Now, is it possible that someday that's going to change and I'll do it a different way? Yes, but for right now, I'm just starting off. The most important thing is that I get on YouTube, that I get my voice on here, that people are able to hear me, that someone in Sebastian's army is going to have a similar thought with a little bit more to back it up, that someone just clicking through channels is going to see me and say, oh, who's that picture on the screen? Oh, I think I've seen that boy before. Oh, yeah, he's the one that blah, 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 blah. And then we have another tip. And we need all the tips we can get. We need good tips. But I have a feeling that if there was any kind of commotion with Sebastian, either good or bad, if there was any tension brought to them, somebody would remember Sebastian. Because realize that we all remember Sebastian. He's won all of us over. He's not a forgettable kid. You see Sebastian, he makes an impression on you. And somebody still has a memory of him because somebody saw him. Somebody knows what happened. Somebody knows where they were at some point in time. Somebody knows if he was alone or with somebody. Somebody may remember specific words that he said. Somebody may remember him bending over at a cash register to look for the pennies. Somebody may remember him bending over in a parking lot to pick up a paper clip and showing his mom, look what I found. And even if they thought, wow, that's a big guy for getting excited about finding a paper clip, well, guess what? That is still memorable. And that's what we need. We need people who remember something. Again, I say all of this just to encourage those of you who have thoughts about this case. Start slow, but start. Do a little bit of something every day until you can get on here and you can make your own videos, or until you can get on somebody else's channel and go on the panel or do a live call-in, so that we can find out what the heck happened to Sebastian and find him and bring him home. One of my biggest fears is that he doesn't want to come home. One of my biggest fears is that he's happy hiding out. But guess what? Sebastian, if you're watching and you're happy hiding out, will you please just call out to somebody? Just make an anonymous call and say, you know what? I'm fine and I don't want to get found. But be ready to give some personal information so that we know that it is in fact you. And then you can live more peacefully. And if you do want to be found, Sebastian, we're searching for you. We are going around every single which way we can. We're searching. We're putting up flyers. We're telling everybody about you. We're posting your Amber Alert flyer on all of our social medias. We're sharing videos. We're signing petitions. We're writing to governors and representatives, begging them to help us find you. But if you have any single way to give us a hint as to where you are, that could help us so much. And if this picture right here is wrong, tell me what happened. You can literally tell me what happened. I would love to talk to you. I could do an interview with you. You can tell me what happened without telling me your location. But I want to know that you're you. So I need you to tell me how I know that you are Sebastian Wainwright Rogers when you get in touch with me, okay? We're all looking for you. We want to find you, and you deserve to be found. So please reach out to me, to the police, to your dad, to whoever it is that you trust to help you be in a safe place. And if you would please come home, we would love to meet you. Now, I see that we have somebody in here who has joined us, and there's only one of you, and that's okay. I'm a brand new YouTuber, and I'm getting used to be on here and talking. And so what we have done tonight, and please say hello so I know who you are. What we have done tonight is go through an entire AI-generated slideshow to show my theory of what may have happened to Sebastian. Just basically on that one night, and this is the last slide from that, where I believe that Katie had somebody else to pose for her and go to the house, and she went halfway. Chris called Katie, left his phone on, which of course somebody else had Katie's phone. He leaves his phone on and he drives halfway. So that leaves them to meet in the middle somewhere. And I was saying it could have been Jackson, Tennessee. It could be Natchez State Park, where Seth was searching. It could be Lexington, Tennessee, which is the exact center between Nashville and Memphis. Or it could have been Parker's Crossroads, which is a historic Civil War site, and that has a lot of walking trails through there. And Cedar Grove Midway is also a point noted for fine dining, it says, which that's probably my least favorite of those 5. But Jackson, Tennessee, as I was already talking about, it's the largest city between Nashville and Memphis. There was a supposed sighting in Jackson on the morning of the 26th at around 5:30 in the morning, where they said that a boy was asleep in a truck matching that of Chris Proudfoot. I'm not sure if that was ever debunked or not. I'm sure it was not confirmed, or else we wouldn't be where we are right now. Though also there's a TBI office in Memphis, in Jackson, where one day when I believe it was Chloe was trying to get a hold of Chris, he said that he was going to be meeting with Brandon Carter, I believe, or Bobby at the TBI office in Jackson, Tennessee. Also, there is a behavioral health center in Jackson, Tennessee. It is called Perimeter Behavioral Health Center, I believe. And it takes children, short or long term, who are having behavioral issues. They can receive diagnoses and medicine at that same location. Some of them live there long term. Some of them are there for a short period, like 2 weeks, and then return home. But that's why I find Jackson, Tennessee to be a very interesting possibility for tracking down at least some kind of lead about Sebastian Wainwright Rogers. I feel that it's possible that if we went over there and put out flyers, talked to people, spoke to people in stores, especially 24-hour stores and restaurants, we may find somebody that recognized something. As I was already saying, in my opinion, Sebastian is going to leave an impression. I think he is a very memorable person. He's captured all of us, and that's not because he's a boring kid. He is interesting. And if somebody sees him, they may just remember him. And if they see him with P-Foot, stepfather, and there's any kind of a interaction between them, it could be getting loud. It could be off-putting. It could be have a negative aura around it to where people just look twice because something don't feel right there. So to me, it's very possible that somebody, even from more than 2 years ago, if they hear about this and they're given a specific location or a specific time or a specific situation, that they may remember something, and we may be able to get tips out of Jackson, Tennessee. So that's where I was going with that. Seth did search Natchez Trace State Park. From what I understand, it was not a very specific and in-depth search, but they did go walking through Natchez Trace State Park, and Seth was calling out for Sebastian. So because Seth thought of Natchez Trace State Park and went there to look for his son, I think that it's worth yet another look. And again, it's probably not going to be any physical evidence to be found. It's probably going to be people speaking to people and their memories. Because in my opinion, and in the opinion of this channel, Sebastian is still with us. And he is somewhere being hidden. And he's going to be found alive and safe. I believe that he's coming back to us. I don't know when, but I feel like that is his army's job, is to accentuate the positive and go out there and find a way to find him sooner than later. And I would like to see a real army. And I would like to know, if you're a soldier in Sebastian's army, will you please stand up? Will you put a 1 in the chat right now if you are a soldier in Sebastian's army? And when I say, are you a soldier, I mean, do you get up in the morning and make your bed, and do you say to yourself, what is my mission today for Sebastian? Just one thing that you're going to do every single day for Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. To put his name out there, to get the word out there, to gather evidence, to get your thoughts out there. Are you going to post on a podcast? Are you going to comment? Are you going to call in to a show? Are you going to join a panel? Are you going to post a flyer? Are you going to repost his missing poster on your Facebook channel or your Facebook page? Are you going to say his name? Are you going to wear his shirt out into public? Are you going to wear the bracelet that says Sebastian's Army on it? Are you going to make sure that you have a magnet on your car? What is it that you're going to do? Are you going to write a letter to the governor or to your representative? Are you going to go to a meeting like commissioners meeting to find out how your county stands up for children? Because when you're standing up for Sebastian, you're standing up for all children. And when you're standing up for all children, you're standing up for Sebastian. So that's my rant. I would love to see Sebastian's army really, really stand up. Salute your captain and tell him you're going to do everything you can to serve him today. How are you going to serve Sebastian today? All right, well, it is getting very late and I've run out of things to talk about at the moment. If you will, please go back and do the replay and watch this entire AI generated presentation slideshow that I have put together as an idea of a theory that I have that I want to be looked into more. I feel like it's very well worth considering and really looking into and deciding, okay, it could have been this way because of this, or no, that part right there couldn't have been because of this. Because we really need to get what's good to stay and what's not good to go away so that we can put together a comprehensive idea of what actually could have happened to Sebastian. Because you know what? Our thousands of minds are much better than that one little mind in Brandon Carter that doesn't even seem to be as invested in it as the thousands of us are. We are going to find Sebastian, not Brandon Carter. But, Brandon, I got a challenge for you. I'd like to see you find Sebastian before we can. And with that, my friends, I'm going to sign off. I hope you have a wonderful night, and I hope to see you all tomorrow night. Thank you so much for tuning in. Good night.